need to use purification of the emptiness and extinction for the samsara, otherwise there is no conclusion. Use the reminders, supporting or helping, has mindfulness, concentration, contemplation, meditative power and wisdom in there already. There is no need to practice for it. With everything, give up the giving up itself. Everything is no grasping for the non-grasping itself. Use this kind of code to help with the conclusion through Nirodha and Nibbana. All of the support has mindfulness, concentration, contemplation, meditative power, insight and wisdom already in there. With everything, no grasping is on its own. Non-attachment is on its own. It's impossible to use anicca, dukkha, anatta to be fixated upon. Everything is like that. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. It's impossible to grasp for it. With everything, whether it's hell or heaven or any realms, is under this law, anicca, dukkha, anatta. All Dhamma as well, anicca, dukkha, anatta in itself. It's impossible to grasp for it. Therefore, let's conclude through Nibbana only. No grasping is on its own. With everything, no grasping for the non-grasping itself. Use this reminder that purifies itself. Everything will be unwound altogether automatically. Give up the giving up itself. It's not about giving up anything. To give up anything that is deceiving oneself, that is having oneself that is doing it. Letting go as well, have to let go of itself. To let go of something else, that is a person who is doing it, is not ending. No grasping for the non-grasping itself is not about not grasping for anything. This will give ending to the non-grasping, to this act. This is the reminders that purify themselves. Samsara will hear and they will end accordingly. They will cease accordingly. Use Nirodha and Nibbana as a blessing, not to bless with anything else all over, because it will proceed in such a way. That's not the way. Use the essence of Nirodha and Nibbana for the blessing only. Then it will bless in the way of ending, helping through ending for samsara truly. In other ways, it's just circling in samsara, is unending. Heaven realms is not the way. Because they don't know how to conclude towards ending, only listening. It's impossible to do anything for it. Use the reminder also with the non-attachment. No grasping for the non-grasping itself is impossible to use the practice for it. Use the reminder only. Non-attachment will happen accordingly, according to the reminder. Because this reminder gives ending to itself. Realms of existence is not the way, it's circling. Understanding but cannot lead anyone to get out of it. Just use the reminders, shorten the short, it purifies itself. Out of the out itself, let go of the letting go itself. It will let go, which is out from the letting go itself. Mind from mind itself, not attached to the non-attachment itself only. This will purify within itself, self-purification, it will end itself. End beingness in itself, not attached to the non-attachment itself. This will give ending within itself. The attempt to not attach, to be ended, it will end the path to the noble ones. Ending for both the worldlings and the path for the noble ones. Shorten the short, the reminders that end within themselves. This is not the reminders that is used for the future, for the path to the enlightenment anywhere. That's not the way. The reminders purify themselves, ending within themselves. This will be aligned with the conclusion of Nirodha and Nibbana. This is not the path for the enlightenment in the future. This is no grasping for the non-grasping itself and the ending itself. Let's conclude through Nirodha and Nibbana at the present. No grasping for the non-grasping itself is not attached to the non-attachment itself. This is ending at the present, right here now. It's not about practice for the future. That's not the way. That's the desire that is added on, the samudaya that is added on. It becomes a habit of circling. Ending, the ending itself is not about ending anything. Be careful. Don't end anything. Don't try to let go of anything. It's become a path. The trying to let go is a path, which is the desire. This is still the samudaya. Ending right there, at the ending itself. Mind from mind itself sees the ceasing itself, no grasping for the non-grasping itself. This will give ending to the present, right here and now. The present cannot be kept. No grasping for the non-grasping itself will purify the delusion within the present. Not attached to the non-attachment itself also will purify the delusion within the present. It's not about anything within the present or the past. Proceed with everything, not attached to the non-attachment itself with everything. It's not about not attached to anything. This is the great compassion within the reminders, helping through unwinding and releasing for samsara simultaneously. It will be lightened up naturally. Step back to shorten the short. Struggling to liberate from suffering is like not ending the struggling, the suffering within the struggling. The struggling is the suffering itself. The struggling to liberate from suffering is the suffering within itself. Step back to disengage from disengagement itself, not grasping for the non-grasping itself. This will give ending to the struggling, to the striving, end the samudaya. Nirodha Nibbana is right there and then all by itself. This is the reminders of the great compassion that will continue onwards. It's not about grasping. The conclusion that is grasping itself is blocking. What is there to be grasped? Mindfulness, concentration, insight, even supernatural power is anatta within itself. Grasping for that which is not about grasping, the delusion to grasp will become samsara circling within itself across lifetimes on and on. Everyone will just become samsara, circling from this realm to another realm on and on. That is the projection for attainment. That will change location to become realms of existence from this to that realms on and on, endlessly. Therefore, let's dissolve the projecting, the grasping mind, with everything not attached to the non-attachment itself. No grasping for the non-grasping itself. Let's be thorough. This will purify all the delusion that is added on within anicca, dukkha, and anatta. This will purify for all that. With everything not attached to the non-attachment itself. Step back to not grasp for the non-grasping itself. Step back to not attach to the non-attachment itself. The desire is off-sided. It's aiming forward for the path to enlightenment, that is proceeding with the desire on and on. Step back, disengage from disengagement itself, then it will be the conclusion of Nirodha and Nibbana. Step back, not grasping for the non-grasping itself. Step back to not grasp for the non-grasping itself with everything. Is not to proceed with the path to the enlightenment into the future. step back to my from my itself instead. This will give ending for the samudaya totally. Then automatically it will be Nirodha and Nibbana without meanings. Continue with these reminders, it will reach each other automatically, helping through unwinding and releasing altogether automatically. It will cut off the present, the past and the future altogether. The essence of cutting the cutting itself. It will not about anything within the present, the future or the past automatically. It will not about anything within decision itself. This is not behaviors. It's not about a practice. It's not about meditation. It's not about recitation. Nibbana is not all of these. All the practice is karma. Good or bad karma is from the practice, which is the result. That is not Nibbana. It's instead a result within realms of existence. Nibbana cannot be used through practice. Nibbana is not Nibbana itself. Emptiness is not even emptiness itself. No, it's not even no itself. It cannot be used through practice. My only. My even from my itself. No grasping even from the non-grasping itself. End the practice. End the delusion in the practice. If the practice is still there, it's unending because it will proceed onwards. End the practice itself only. The practice creates the becoming within Brahma realm, angel realm, hell realms. It creates realms, high realms, medium realms, and lower realms. It's not something that is Nibbana. Practice cannot be used for Nibbana. Therefore, let go of the letting go itself, no grasping for the non-grasping itself, give up the giving up itself. Then it will be aligned with Nibbana, aligning with the non-attachment. The delusion in practicing, that is the projection through the belief values. It's impossible to decide with grasping minds. For liberation of suffering, it cannot be used with such a desire because it becomes a belief values. With this kind of desire, it's just going further and further than the alignment. This is only sees the ceasing itself, my from my itself only. No grasping for the non-grasping itself only. Not attached to the non-attachment itself only. This will be ending truly. It will be automatically Nirodha and Nibbana in the way without meanings. That is Nirodha and Nibbana. Nibbana is not a path. Deludedly fabricating for Nibbana, for heaven, is not a path. It's a delusion that fabricates all by oneself. Heaven realm, hell realms, realms of existence is a path from practice. But Nibbana is not it. It's not that kind. Nibbana has no path. There is no one who walks the path, and there is no path either. Neither is about path or the one who walks the path. That is deludedly fabricated by oneself. It's impossible to go there. It's just realm of existence on and on that is there. My only. It's not about oneself to begin or to end anything. It's not about oneself who is beginning or ending anything. It's not the way. No, it's not even know itself to begin or to end anything. This will align with Nibbana. It's not a path. It's not about the path or the one who walked the path. Everything is know that is not know itself. Let's conclude like this. This is the conclusion within itself. Samsara will be unwound naturally, automatically. A lot of paths, we're just proceeding towards Deva Rem and Brahma Rem is not Nibbana. It's impossible to use the way to proceed in this way and that way, or the dwelling in it in whatever ways. That not go for Nibbana at all. Where are you going to heaven for? That is oneself in it. Don't think that it's gonna end oneself. Why going to Brahma Rem or Heaven Rem? Oneself is still there, just like the monkey climb up to the top of the tree. The monkey is still remaining. Coming down, the monkey is still there also. Wherever you go, high or low, oneself is still there. Going to Brahma Rem, oneself is still there. It's not ended, the self. Oneself is still in this and that as usual. It's not even it, even before beginning already. No, it's not no, even because beginning, before the beginning. Let's conclude through Nibbana thoroughly. There are not that many sentences. They are the sentences that dissolve themselves, that purify themselves, that don't grasp themselves, that give ending to themselves. Use these reminders to purify everything and to purify themselves. It's impossible to practice anything. Let's use the reminder that purify themselves only. You can gain something from the practice. You can gain realms of existence from Brahma Rem to Hell Rem. Nibbana cannot be used through practice. How can it become an attainment through practice? It is anatta. It's not about anything. It has to end the practice, then it will end all the practices. That is the ceasing itself, mind from mind itself, no grasping for the non-grasping itself. This will giving ending to the practice. Ceasing the non-grasping, even that. Ceasing even the non-grasping, the non-attachment. Not attached to the non-attachment itself. Let go of the letting go itself. End even the attempt to let go. This is ending the practice for samsara. Giving ending for samsara. This is not to grasp for ending. This is great compassion. Help end for samsara continuously. Great compassion. With everything, mind from mind itself. With everything, no grasping for the non-grasping itself. Everything, everything, everything. Mind from mind itself altogether with everything. Help through ceasing, help through ending. Discard the discarding itself since before beginning anything. Discard the discarding itself. Since before beginning anything, to begin anything, it becomes samsara immediately. With everything, discard the discarding itself. No grasping for the non-grasping itself. This will help through ending for all realms of existence. Come to terms with ending for helping all realms. All realms comes afterwards. There are so many who has ended their delusions, their practices, which creates realms of existence, Brahma realm, Deva realm, angel realms. They are new generations. There has been so many who has ended since the beginning of Buddha era. Tremendous numbers of those who has ended themselves. Therefore, let's help through ending. With everything, might from might itself altogether. With everything, cease the ceasing itself, no grasping for the non-grasping itself. Let's come to terms with ending and help through ending, listening and ending accordingly. The reminders that is used, ending will happen accordingly. There are so many who already end accordingly, so many generations already. Brahma realms and angel realms are now in the new generations. The old generations has ended already. Those who could not catch up, they are practicing for attainments. That's why it creates the new generations in all realms of existence. They are afraid to have empty realms in the heavens, in the angel realms. Must end, help through ending, whether it's from any realms of existence, heaven realms or hell realms, end the ending itself. Help through ending. Shorten the short, use the reminders that purify themselves. No grasping for the non-grasping itself more often. It will not become realms of existence already. It will give ending for realms of existence already. It's possible to form up great compassion, to purify samsara continuously, to help through ending for samsara continuously. That is the form up of the great compassion. No grasping for the non-grasping itself, all the same, in the way that has nothing within being the same. This is the mighty force of the purification of the emptiness. We have power to purify samsara greatly. The knower is there. There is no need to have preference to use it. Just conclude through purification. Don't just having the knower there and just have it. Use the reminders that purify themselves. It will soften down the knowing. Continue with the reminders that purify themselves. Disengage from disengaging itself simultaneously with everything. That is, cease the ceasing itself, end the ending itself. This is called cut the cutting itself, cease the ceasing itself. Don't try to disengage from anything, disengage from itself only. With everything, disengage from disengagement itself only. This will give ending to the ending itself, end the ending itself for samsara. If disengage from anything is unending, disengage must disengage from itself only. This will give ending to the ending itself. Use the reminders to remind oneself to cut through the cutting itself more often. Proceed simultaneously with the great compassion. The mighty force of purification of emptiness and extinction in cutting as helping samsara will be countless and endless continuously, all by itself. Heaven is anicca dukkha anatta. Whether whatever realms they are under this law of anicca dukkha anatta, how can it be grasped for it? It's not about grasping. Conclude well, no grasping for the non-grasping itself with everything. When there is a projection deludedly for attainment, one will just remaining in a lengthy time within heaven realms, and it will decline in itself. Whatever realms is not there. No is not no itself. Conclude well. Whatever realms is there, no is not no itself.